quite say the whole message, because a spiritual being could also be someone that's still trapped in a egoic mind, that's connected in between the charges and bringing forth these higher states of energy, but they're still bringing in balance. They're still in their fragmentation states. So when you say source energy directly, you're now referring to the whole spectrum that source energy exists as, not just a part or a fragment, not the spirit, not just the soul, but the whole being is expressed this way. Because that way you no longer see yourself as a third density being here trapped in this, in this human form as a spirit. You take it to the next level, and you see yourself as source energy at that highest point, looking directly through this gamma spectrum of experience down to the singularity point of where you're standing in third density. That's a much different experience, because now you're elevated. Your perception levels are elevated in that process. In this process, you are actually fully conscious of actually releasing DMT. You're not unconscious. You don't have to be asleep. See, it's interesting is because when we dream, a lot of times we don't remember what we dreamt about. The only reason why is because chemically we have so much of our energy stored into different memory systems, into different timelines, that it's distorted. So we get fragments of a dream. We get fragments of it because it's existing outside of our own senses. It's in an unconscious realm. It's in a sleep realm. So we don't get the full benefit of what that experience really holds for us. Our dream state is incredible. Once you start consciously releasing this beautiful spectrum of this DMT, this beautiful creation, this elixir, directly from source energy. But your hypothalamus is now connected to, it's interlinked with the pineal gland, so it becomes one with the pineal gland. It's the agreement of the positive and negative. So now the pineal gland is connected to the hypothalamus in a synchronicity kind of way, in a oneness kind of way. So when the pineal gland releases DMT, it also releases a chemical reaction that's associated to that DMT, which takes your physicality through these higher spectrums of experience, because chemically now you're releasing these higher levels of interaction of the cosmos. That's the biggest difference. When you're releasing from the hypothalamus in the egoic state, it means your perception levels are very low, then there's only a couple chemicals that you get to choose from that it creates. And those are all third-dimensional creations. They're all third-dimensional frequencies. So your body is producing the equal, so to speak, the mirror of the energetic expression. It's expanding in the chemical expression, the emotional expression of that. So in a conscious state, you are fully aware of your DMT, and you're connected to it. Your DMT is just Stargate. Your pineal gland is a supercomputer. If that supercomputer is only activated at 1%, then you only access 1% of the actual totality of what that DMT really is, what it expresses as. When you're activated on these much higher levels, this pineal gland is activated on higher levels, we see it as the same way we would see a brain structure, a supercomputer, but it's the supercomputer of all creation. It's not just here in third density, it's all of creation. It's the gateway to the infinite, to perceiving the infinite. So in the state of the pineal gland being fully activated, one could say this is ascension, ascending. Each moment is an ascending experience or a descending experience. If your pineal gland is part of a slavery program, and that DMT dump is that little bit that you're getting is going and feeding that hypothalamus, maybe it's happening at night while you're sleeping, where you don't know what's going on, so you keep going into a pattern state, because in that sleep state, your energy can be manipulated through technology, through higher interaction levels of fragmentation that are outside your awareness, and they could be, interlinking with you, such as, the whole idea of UFO abduction and all these things. That's just your energy coming back to you because of the unconscious creation state that you're creating. So this is what you're getting back. And it keeps you chemically in this hypothalamus state. So now if we start activating the pineal gland consciously, which would mean during the day to start off with, what happens is when you go into dream state, you're taking that infinite conscious awareness with you while you go into the dream state. So now instead of this being a manipulating experience to the dream state, it's more of a conscious experience. Because now you can actually understand the brainwave states that you're processing consciously while you're sleeping, while you're dreaming, and be aware of this in that state of awareness. Know what particular brainwave state you're in during your dream, because what that does is that allows you to be connected to the next moment of that dream, and you have that fluidity of experience to your dream. So your dreams are then start to become more of a interlinking with source energy, instead of just something that you do when you lay down and you close your eyes. It goes beyond that point. So these higher plasma core realizations, the fluidity, the plasma spectrum that you exist as, opens you up to this realm of experience. Many people, many sentient beings have different levels of interaction with creation. Some get to see extraterrestrials, some see angels, some see all these different things, and others don't see nothing. Maybe they just feel it with their hands, with their energy, whatever. The only thing that keeps us from accessing these higher states is being controlled and having these mechanisms put in place by our own selves. When we fully awake and we realize that it was us that put him into place to begin with, then you'll no longer start externalizing the blame outwardly to corporations, to presidents, to people, to races, to religions, etc., etc. You see where the original energy separation, where it actually took place, and it took place when source energy did not see its own reflection. When source energy did not see its own reflection, it then started questioning itself. What am I? The moment that it did that, it went into a dream state. It started going into a false state. And that's the beginning process of fragmentation. Well, that source energy carries massive amounts of energy. Huge, massive amounts of energy. So it carries mucho momentum with that fall. That first thought of falling, separating. There's a big momentum behind that. The concept of the Big Bang Theory. Because all of that energy just went, it exploded. But it exploded into the opposite direction of itself. It went through the fragmentation stage. And each level going down a fragmentation stage. Breaking into these lower octaves, these lower dimensions, these higher dimensions, etc. And each moment, it's fully conscious of what's going on in that realm of existence. But as we have forgotten who source energy is, and we are source energy, we have actually also forgotten, too, from those higher levels of creation. It's the only reason why all those memories are blocked. Because we are here in a finite existence. Our galaxy is formulated around finite constructs, black hole constructs.